The bacterium responsible for syphilis concentrates over the years in the brain, where it causes terrible damage and eventually kills the patient. Before the dawn of antibiotics, syphilis was a death sentence, and was perhaps the most feared disease in the world. It was the worst thing that could happen to a person because of the damage it did to the brain. Here's the odd thing about syphilis. The brain damage it causes first becomes apparent when the sufferer becomes manic. He exhibits excessive grandiosity and has profound delusions of status and achievement. This then degenerates into dementia and madness. The sufferer dies after a period of psychosis. A common theory about Nietzsche is that he contracted syphilis in a brothel. Years later, he had a manic breakdown where he said things like, "Alas, I would have much preferred to be a professor in Basel rather than God, but I did not dare to push my private egotism so far as to omit the creation of the world on account of that professorship." You see, one has to sacrifice something, where and how one lives. Wikipedia says, on the 3rd of January 1889, Nietzsche suffered a mental breakdown. 2 policemen approached him after he caused a public disturbance in the streets of Turin. What happened remains unknown, but an often repeated tale from shortly after his death states that Nietzsche witnessed the flogging of a horse at the other end of the Piazza Carlo Alberto, ran to the horse, threw his arms around its neck to protect it, then collapsed to the ground. In the following few days, Nietzsche sent short writings to a number of friends including Cosima Wagner and Jacob Burckhardt. Most of them were signed Dionysus, though some were also signed the Crucified One. To his former colleague Burckhardt, Nietzsche wrote, "I have had Caiaphas put in fetters. Also, last year I was crucified by the German doctors in a very drawn-out manner. Wilhelm, Bismarck, and all anti-Semites abolished." Additionally, he commanded the German emperor to go to Rome to be shot and summoned the European powers to take military action against Germany, writing also that the Pope should be put in jail and that he, Nietzsche, created the world and was in the process of having all anti-Semites shot dead. Nietzsche died in 1900. He wasn't sure if he was Christ or the Antichrist. The odd thing is why a bacterium should damage the brain in such a way as to produce the effect of grandiosity. Who would have predicted that? Why not memory loss, or depression, or failure of one or more senses? Narcissists don't need any bacterium to become grandiose. However, should we conclude that their brain becomes severely damaged because of their pathological condition? Ought we to treat cerebral narcissists as if they have cerebral syphilis? What is narcissism? It's a catastrophic failure of empathy. The narcissist becomes immune to experiencing guilt about lying to others. He cares nothing for others, so why would he be bothered about lying to them? He sees them purely as appliances to be manipulated and exploited. Lies are the most effective way to con people. The bigger the lies, the better. Narcissists are experts in lying in order to sustain a laughable fantasy about themselves that they are godlike. That is their grandiosity. The biggest lies they tell are about themselves, to themselves. These are totally truth-phobic people. Cerebral syphilis must destroy all the circuitry associated with empathy. Once that's gone, a person is left as a narcissist or psychopath, or autistic. People with wrecked empathy circuits are a serious danger to everyone else. Because they do not care at all about others. They are excessively self-centered people, the worst in the world. They can't think of anything except themselves. The greedy, selfish elites that rule the world are full of malignant narcissists and psychopaths.